In many ways, Saturday's HBO card from the Barclays Center in Brooklyn is a throwback to the glory days of boxing after dark. David Lemieux and Gabe Rosado will headline a card that might be low on star power, but high on the probability that it's going to be entertaining. Neither Lemieux nor Rosado are top 10 middleweights according to Ring Magazine at the moment. Rosado is, at this point in his career, a tough gatekeeper who has fallen short against top-level opposition of late. Lemieux is knocking at the door of contention once again, but is still trying to shake the memory of puzzling losses to Marco Antonio Rubio and Joachim Alcin. But both men are guaranteed action. Lemieux, in particular, is one of the most dynamic offensive fighters in the sport. Perhaps nobody in boxing dispatches of overmatched competition as spectacularly as he does. When this series was founded by Lou DiBella, the idea was to showcase new names, regardless of weight class or promotional ties, and match them competitively, even if they weren't necessarily world champions. Fights like Gabriel Ellis, John Brown, Angel Manfredi, Wilson Rodriguez, Derek Jefferson, Mo Harris, and yes, Arturo Gatti, Mickey Ward are all examples of great fights on Boxing After Dark that didn't have world titles on the line or even significant stakes in some cases. And what do we have in the main event? A fighter managed by a small promotional company in Canada and one who's effectively independent, going at it just because it's going to be fun to watch. The undercard follows a similar formula, with James De La Rosa getting his reward for his upset of the year contender win over Alfredo Angulo in September as he meets prospect Hugo Centeno Jr. Centeno is a very tall light middleweight who has proven he's both exciting offensively and quite hittable as well, which should make for compelling TV. And the third fight of the night features Thomas Delorme against the quintessential ESPN fighter from the past 6 years, Hammerin' Hank Lundy, who finally gets a crack on HBO after being one of the most reliable cable TV action fighters for all this time. Yes, on the surface, this card might look strange, in that it's a Canadian guy and a Philly guy headlining a Golden Boy show in Brooklyn, and yes, on paper, it doesn't have marquee name value. But before you complain about how this card isn't the quality you remember HBO being all about, just give this one a shot, because it might turn out to be everything you remember HBO being all about.